Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sales for Breakfast, where we talk about all things sales, growing, money, and business building. And today I have my friend Sage Polaris, and I am so excited to have her here, and for many, many reasons. But I love bringing the A team to my community so that you can learn how to make more sales with ease. And today we're going to talk about something that is really unique and super fun, and how color impacts buying decisions, and how the colors you choose for your brand, landing pages, communication, social media is not only attracting a certain type of client, but it is encouraging people either to buy now or not. And this is crucial for anyone running an online business. So I'm excited to have Sage here because Sage has written high converting copy for more than 475 clients. That is a lot. And this includes some of the most famous names that we all follow, like Shailene Johnson, Christique Michelle, Rick Mulready, and Lynn Twist. So this is going to be an action-packed time for you. And I am so honored to have her show up and share this amazing strategy with my community. So without further ado, Sage, say hello to everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Michelle. Can you just go around introducing me so beautifully everywhere?
Oh, I'll try. Well, you make it really easy to introduce you. So thank you for doing that. So Sage, outside of business, before we jump into all of this beautiful training that you're going to do today, and stick around, everyone, because there is a training included in this. This is not a simple Q&A, and you will walk away with things that you can apply to your business today. But before we jump into this, I would love to know, and if you're going to talk about this in your training, then we can hold off on this. But I would love to know, like, what inspired you to take this angle within copywriting with color? I'd love to know the background on this.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's definitely a part of the training. So I will share more deeply on it. But basically, the color-coded copy system is a system that I created because I understood how people make buying decisions. And I realized there was a gap between assuming, and this is really like the genesis of what we're going to talk about today, is assuming that you know how someone wants to buy based on how you make buying decisions. So let's say you, Michelle, are a very fast decision maker and you get annoyed by long emails. This is just one example. I don't know if that's true about Michelle, but I'm just using her as an example. So understanding that even though you get annoyed by long emails and that's not how you make a buying decision, understanding there are 3 other buyer types who make a decision differently than you, and to then understand how to appeal to all 4 buyer types so that you're able to triple your sales results, because now you have a framework for appealing to people based on their personality and how they like to buy. So don't assume everyone wants to buy like you do. So that was really what made me want to create this, because I have a deeper understanding psychologically of how people think about their buying.
Well, I'm ready to nerd out on this. So why don't I just give it you control and jump on into your training, and I can't wait to listen in. So you should be able to share your screen. If not, let me know and I'll change a setting over here.
I think I'm good. Let's see. Okay, it's giving me tips, but I'm like, I'm good, y'all.
Oh, good. I got
my first time at the rodeo.
Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, perfect.
Okay. Yay, we win.
Oh,
I'm gonna turn on
a cute photo. I love that picture of you.
Thank you, love. So I'm giving y'all, well, I'm trying to turn on captions for anyone who is a visual learner. I'm giving y'all the abbreviated version of this training, but you are definitely going to walk away with a specific framework that you can implement right away from this training to improve your sales pages, your sales emails, your Facebook ads if you're doing those, or any organic social posts. Like, you'll be able to apply this immediately, or even if you just want to convince your partner to walk the dog, like all of the above.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I use my own sales psychology on my family and friends.
Oh my, yes. Listen, like, this is what we do. So it's going to happen to you too.
Oh my God, I love it.
Okay, so we're not going to cover all of this, but if you ever want to get a deeper training with me, Michelle and I are going to tell you how to get a 2-week trial where I go over this more extensively. But essentially, we are definitely going to talk about how I use disc-based colored profiles to write copy that sells. We'll start to talk about the 4 friends that you need to invite to every time you make an offer, not just a launch, including what to say in that invitation. I'll briefly mention about the sales pages because people tell me, like, do I really need a long form sales page? And my answer is yes, if, and no, but, depending on who's in your audience.
Oh my gosh, I
but we'll
love
get into
that.
And I will tell you about how to use the triple email open rates. It's a copy, paste, and personalized template. When I share a link with you later, you'll be able to grab those. It's fine if you've ghosted your list. Like, that's the biggest question I get. Like, oh, if I haven't written to my email list, what do I say to reappear in their inbox? But also, this is really good for you if you've had an email list a long time and you've never scrubbed your subscribers. Like, you've never gotten rid of the older energy that's there, where you have probably a portion of your people on your email list who have never read anything of yours, and they're basically squatting on your list, and you're most likely paying for them to be there. So those are the things we'll go over. Michelle, do you scrub your list? I'm just curious.
Oh my gosh. So this is an issue of mine. So I actually have never scrubbed my list, and I've thought about it time and time again. But for some reason, I'm so attached to not scrubbing my list. And so I am guilty of this. It's something that I know I need to do, but I am hesitating. And so I'm actually really excited to listen to what you have to say. So I have about a 35% open rate. And
amazing,
which is really, really good on broadcast emails, is my understanding. And so my open rate's really, really good. And sometimes I'll go in and I'll check and I'll be like, wow, I haven't seen that person open an email in a while. And all of a sudden they're re-engaged. So I think that's why I worry about scrubbing my list. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say about that.
Oh, yeah, we'll get into it then. And it'll give you a better gauge for whether or not you'd be a good candidate for it.
And everyone listening right now, like, let's make this interactive and fun. So I would love to know my audience right now. If you're listening, have you ever scrubbed your list? Let us know in the comment section.
Yes, please. I would love to hear it. Okay, so this training is for e-com folks, course creators, and service providers. I straddle all 3 worlds in terms of people who are in my community, and I am both a course creator and a service provider. So I love speaking to people who are actually here. So another thing, if you could field this for me, Michelle, because you can see in the group, if anybody's here and listening, or if you're just watching on the replay, tell me what world you're in. Are you an e-com person? Are you a course creator? Or are you a service provider? I like to personalize it to who's actually here.
So I will say that most of the people listening are going to be more service providers than course creators. So I think that the vast majority of my audience are the coaches, consultants, service providers. Now, a lot of them do have group programs, but not necessarily like digital courses available. So I would say the vast majority of my audience are high ticket coaches, consultants, or service providers.
Okay, great. I will personalize this to y'all now that I know. And the whole point of this training is for you to get results like this. So Anne-Marie was a service provider. She used my book a call email, and she sent the email, and over half the people who opened the email clicked the book a call link. That's a 50% click-through rate, which is honestly unheard of, but It's not when you use my system.
That's incredible. Oh my gosh. Yes. The book, The Call, that is a great one to focus on. Like, almost every single one of my clients uses discovery calls to convert. So, oh my gosh, they must be freaking out right now. That's a great result.
Yay. And Kim got 4 sales calls booked from 1 social media post when I shared it with her when she participated in my challenge. So I am here to get y'all some booked calls. Let's talk about that for sure today.
Yay.
Whoop, whoop. And I will go kind of quickly through a few of these slides. So if you see me skip stuff, remember, we'll tell you how to get this more in-depth training. But the point of this is to help you use this color-coded copy system from today's training. So this became a thing, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, when I started understanding all these different buyer types, I actually spoke on Rick Mulready's stage. He has the Art of Being an Online Business podcast, but he also does live events. So he invited me to go to San Diego to speak on his stage. And it was wild because he forgot to tell me who else was speaking. So it was me, Amy Porterfield, Rick Mulready. There were all these really, Pat Flynn, like all these really well-known names in my industry, and Sage Polaris. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, what an opportunity. That must have been so exciting / a little nerve-wracking.
Yes, exactly. And so I went down to San Diego, came back to LA after my talk, and someone contacted me that was in the audience, and he's like, hey, I immediately used this system while I was listening to you talk, and we saw better cost per lead on our ads. Now we want to do a whole campaign with you. And I was like, sure, I would love that. And we went on to do 1.25 million in a single launch. So I know everybody's results are different, but that was pretty incredible to watch this system in action and to do that for a business.
Oh my gosh, I get more excitement out of my clients' results than I do of my own. And I remember the first time that I helped someone have a 6-figure launch, I was like, oh my God, I'm like losing my mind. I was like freaking out. I was so excited. It's really, really rewarding.
Yes, absolutely. And I love that for you as well, Michelle. Thank you for sharing. So what we did, I taught from that stage in San Diego, the DISC personality system. Some of you may have heard it, and I'll show you my results briefly. So there is a quiz you can take, and don't go do it now. You can Google it later if you really want to know your results. But the important part to understand about DISC is that we all have all 4 colors in us, right? Like it's just one is more dominant than the other. So I was showing you my results here so you can see the different colors and how it relates. And I'll walk you through. If you've never heard of DISC, don't worry, I'll get you up to speed real quick in a hot minute. But if anybody has heard of DISC and you know your color, you can put it in the comments. I'm super curious to see. Michelle, do you know your DISC?
Oh my gosh, I forget it every single time. But I think the D, remind me what the D is.
I actually don't teach it exactly like DISC, but D is something about dominant. So you're a fast decision maker. I'll give you guys that quick overview.
I'm that for sure.
I thought you were too.
Yeah, I think I'm like almost all D. I think I have some I in me.
Okay, so yes, I agree. And yellow is the fun-loving decision makers. So just keep this in mind when I'm going to show you some examples right now. Greens are the slower decision makers, and blues are the deep connection decision makers. So they lead with their different personality when they make a buying decision. And I hadn't seen anybody paired that with copy before I started teaching it. And so I was like, ooh, people need to know about this. So essentially, those are the 4 friends that you want to invite to your offer. And some audiences are like, oh, I actually only want reds. I only want fast decision makers. Let's say you're a coach for coaches and they're executive coaches. They tend to be red, and it's totally fine if you need to exclude everyone else with the way that you market yourself. Most people, me included, I would rather have a well-rounded community of all 4 colors. So I market to all 4 colors, and I'll show you how right now. So I use The Simpsons as
my kids love this show, and I am embarrassed to say that because they're probably way too young to watch it. But my husband got him hooked on it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I have to watch one more episode of The Simpsons. So I'm going to know everything you talk about because this is like a theme in our house.
Okay, but the other thing to keep in mind about this show, like honestly, I think this show is problematic in its own ways. It's another conversation for another day. However, it has been running for, I think, 30 years or something bananas.
Yes.
So it's the relatability of the characters, though. And this is, you want to use this as well to relate to your potential customers. So let me show you how. Bart is a red. He's a fast decision maker. And he's the type who, when he lands on a sales page, for example, he needs the button right at the top. Like he doesn't not want to scroll. He's already decided on a gut level whether or not he wants to work with you. You need to give him the choice to do that immediately. Also, in your email, we tend to bury links towards the bottom of the email. Not for the reds. They're never going to read your whole email. Sorry, we love your beautiful writing, but they just want to make a decision. So don't put the link towards the bottom of your email. So those are two things you can do right away.
Oh my gosh, I love that. You know what's so interesting to me about this conversation already is I got the advice a while ago to put the call to action button above the fold on my sales pages.
Yep.
And so I did that, and those are my most high converting sales pages. But for some reason,
Yay.
In my emails, I tend to not put the link very high up because I want people to read it. But if I think of it as a sales letter, that's actually not a good idea. Now I'm rethinking that, and I want to go make that change right now.
Ah, beautiful. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Okay, so let me show you a book a call email, the one that Anne-Marie used. I'm going to show you an example of that. And then I'll briefly go over the other three colors, but I'm not going to be able to go in depth on them. I do think it's important to talk about this email, though, because this is the one where Anne-Marie, she used a version of this email to get that 50% click-through rate. So right away with the subject line for the reds, we say, made you a quick video, right? Like the Barts, the reds of the world, they want to know it's quick. If they're even going to open it, you got to use the word quick or something that implies quick in the subject line. And then I was writing this to Nicole, and you can see I used a tool called BombBomb, B-O-M-B, and that has a 55-second video, right? So the tool does that for me. It tells them how long the video is. There's this big red button that's very tempting. And actually, the circle of me is me waving. So it's a GIF that moves. It really catches their eye. And I started on Nicole's website because I had seen that she had clicked on my sales page, and I really wanted her to join my program. Yeah, it's super fun. So Nicole, it was just like, I got a message. I'd be kicking myself if I didn't share this with you. Here's a quick video I made to tell you about it. And here's the link, right? So for those reds, they don't want a personal tome from you that's like a really deep story. They just want to know the action. So this is an example that y'all can use to get people to book a call with you.
Oh my gosh, can you hold on a second? I want to take like a screenshot of this so that I can share it on social because I feel like this is, okay, smile because we're going to screenshot. All right, done.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
Hey,
I appreciate
it. Thank you so much for showing up in the comments section. You should use this. This would be great for you.
Ah, so good. Okay, so those are the reds. That's an example to write to them. Homer is a yellow. I'm not going to go over it too much, but I'm just going to say he's a fun-loving decision maker. So music, lyrics, puns, gifts in your emails, that keeps the Homers of the world, the yellows, the fun-loving decision makers engaged. So they will continue to read your email, your sales page, whatever you're writing.
Oh, this is so I'm just like geeking out right now on this stuff because I love this. So I use a different application of like, I think Disc has a lot of value, but I've never heard it like presented this way. So, but what's interesting is that my brand, like if I think about my brand, I am like I attract people that are similar to me. So I am for sure a DI, which means I'm dominant, but I'm also fun loving. And I like love that combination. And I was thinking about it. I use GIFs all the time. I love it. I use emails everywhere. And so I think there's something to be said too about using this not only to attract the right buyers, but feeling aligned in your own brand messaging too. So that's just a side note that I have to add.
I love it. It's so fun for me because when people share more about their personality, it's a little bit of market research for me. So I appreciate you sharing that, Michelle. And so I'll go over the other two colors in case y'all aren't feeling seen in the first two. I have two more for you. So Marge is a blue. She's a deep connection decision maker. When she lands on a sales page or she's reading an email, she wants to feel connected to your story. And also the other thing Marge loves, besides a really good story, is strong branded visual images. And visionary language really draws the Marges of the world in. And so, for example, I had a live event I was doing in Niagara Falls, and there was a line of copy that was laid over a picture of Niagara, and it said, "Step into your future legendary self with $1 million view of Niagara Falls to fuel your inspiration." So you see how I'm telling a story? The Marges, the blues, the deep connection decision makers, they love stuff like that. And I have one more color for you. If you're feeling like a red, yellow, or blue, let me know in the chat. But Lisa is the green. She is the detail-oriented decision maker. People ask me, do you really need a long-form sales page? Yes, for the Lisas of the world. They will read your whole sales page, and then they will write you and ask you more questions. And you'll be like, didn't I answer that on the sales page? But once you understand that about the Lisas of the world, asking questions is how they start a sales conversation with you. Because in their mind, when they're reading your copy, they're always thinking, is this for me? Is this for me? Is this for me? And if you can confirm that it is for them, then they will buy.
I love that. Now I'm thinking about it, and I can literally identify all of my clients right now in their categories as we're talking about this, and their buying experiences and what my discovery calls look like. And it's just so fun.
Yay! I love hearing that. Okay, so just to recap, we've got the reds, fast decision makers. We've got the yellows, the fun-loving decision makers. We've got the blues. They are the deep connection decision makers. And then we've got the greens, who are the detail-oriented decision makers. So we mentioned earlier about being able to triple your email open rates. And I have a resource for you that I can share. Is this a good time to go into the resource?
Oh, yes. Let's talk about it. Yeah, absolutely. Let's rock and roll. I think everybody wants to know how they can have these results in their business. So.
Yay. I love it. Okay. So if they go to sagepolaris.com/Michelle, they can get a 2-week trial inside my copy template membership. And there is a version of this training we did today where I show you examples for every single color. I show you a sales page so that you know how to write your entire page for all the colors. So go to that link, apply for a 2-week trial, and use the coupon code more sales, because you'll get the 2-week trial for $7. And we will really get into, for service providers specifically, for my coaches out there, like if you want to know how to book more calls, I get into even more depth of how you can do that. And so I'm excited for y'all to check that out.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Can you tell us what to expect during the 2-week trial? Like what types of templates or resources or swipes? Because I know that this is a really popular membership that you offer. So give us a little bit more detail about what's inside.
Yeah, so it's such a fun community. There's a Facebook group, so you can come and meet everyone else and get a feel for what it's like to get support on that front. And then there's also inside Thinkific, basically. We have the 2-week trial of the membership. So this session that we just did, there's a very in-depth version of it. There's also a template for celebrating and attracting clients with that single social media post, which I briefly mentioned earlier, that Kim Woods got 4 sales calls booked using that.
Yes.
There's also the triple email open rates template. So let's talk briefly about that because, actually, I'll talk about it in a second. The other thing that's inside the 2-week trial is get your first 1,000 email subscribers lead magnet template.
Love it.
So those are the main things you can get. But I want to mention about the triple email open rates because we started that conversation, Michelle. So understanding when you should be scrubbing your list. And I totally get, like, if people don't open a bunch of emails and then they do start opening, that you don't want to get rid of those people. So the way that we do it is you copy, paste, and personalize these 3 templates. It helps you do a little bit of market research on your email list, like who's there and what they want from you next in terms of an offer. And you only send that to people who haven't opened in the last 90 days. And if they haven't opened anything in the last 90 days and they also don't open your re-engagement emails, then it's time to say goodbye.
I get that. I get it.
Yeah, and it's really helpful because your open rates will go up. And when your open rates go up, I don't know if you know this, but your email platform keeps a deliverability score with you. And so when you scrub those people, your open rates go up, and then you're more likely to be delivered into your entire email community's inbox rather than going to spam, rather than going to promo. They're like, oh, this is a legit person. And the higher your score is, the better your deliverability.
Oh, that's a great fun fact.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And you know what I was just thinking about is technically I could unsubscribe them from my email marketing, but I can still keep them in my database to re-engage to make one-to-one sales, right? So I
Yeah.
think that's also like an alternative way to think about it that I just thought about right now. And so I just
Mhm.
wanted to provide that because for me, like for example, if someone's been sitting on my list for a long time and just wants someone else to do sales for them. And I haven't had that offering in a while. So then they're not opening it. And now I have that offering and now they're opening it. But I can still keep them in my database for my sales team to be marketing one-to-one. So I think that's an interesting like application of it where maybe they don't need to be on your email marketing, right? Like that you're sending out in broadcast, but it doesn't mean you have to completely get rid of them out of your sales CRM.
Yeah, you don't have to delete the data. You can just unsubscribe them from your main newsletter, exactly, and then see if you can re-engage them with different types of campaigns. And that's definitely like one of my recent clients was Teachable, and I see them do stuff like that all the time. So it's really good to hold on to the data that you've worked so hard to get.
Right?
And find ways to increase your open rate, particularly to your main newsletter community, because they are your most active buyers. So the better your deliverability there, like the more likely you are to be able to make more sales. And I'm all about that life.
Yes, me too. Oh my gosh, this was the most amazing training ever. I thank you so much. And I cannot wait to hear. And if you're listening right now, either live or on the replay, I screenshot that email for a reason. I'm going to put it up on my social media and I want you to go try it and see the results you get. And then ping Sage and I and let us know how it worked, because literally I get asked that question all the time. How do I book more sales calls via email? And I think you gave a fantastic example today. And I'm really excited to share that with my community. And of course, go and take advantage of the opportunity for the 2-week trial. And I will be posting it in the comment section as well so that you can rock and roll and enjoy more Sage.
Yay. Thank you, Michelle, for allowing me to be a part of your circle and your community. It feels really special. And if y'all come and play in the 2-week trial, let me know. Like, I want to connect with you. And I'm excited to keep the conversation going.
Thank you so much, Sage. Have a good rest of your week.
Thanks, Michelle.
Bye.
Bye.